Oscar guy here. Before we even get started, I gotta address the elephant in the room, and by elephant in the room, I mean my room. It's looking a little different, isn't it? Well, I just moved. This past week, I moved to a new place, and this is what y'all are gonna be seeing from here on out. We're still getting settled in. The walls are a little bit bare, so bear with me on that. Huh. It's a little bit of a reset period because I need, uh, my brain needs to be kind of fresh here because it's final Oscar predictions time. All of the guilds have happened. All the precursors are done. All we got now are the Oscars. And man, did I pick a wrong year to start doing this. Last year was an incredibly predictable year. It ended up being an incredibly predictable award season. This year is the exact opposite. It is chaos, absolute chaos, which is actually more fun, but it makes my job a little bit harder. I guess you would say if I want to be good at making predictions, which I don't really like. Yeah, it's nice to get predictions correctly and everything, but um, it's not really why I do it. I just do it because I love it, and it doesn't matter if I get 5 predictions correctly out of 23, or 23 out of 23, or 10 out of 23, or 15 out of 23. It really shouldn't matter. I don't know what's going to happen with my predictions. I don't know how accurate they're going to be, but we're going to go through each category. It's a very unconventional year for the award season. And again, did I really have to start doing this year? This is really breaking me in, folks. So bear with me. Here we go. Let's get started. Starting with the short categories, animated shorts. Now, I must confess, I have not seen any of the shorts in any category, and I'm sorry, but I planned on seeing the shorts a couple weeks ago. Your boy got COVID, so I was basically bedridden for a week, and then right after that I had to move, which was this past week, and I got a lot going on this week, so I can't make it happen. I can't see any of the shorts. I'm just going to go off of stats and what the trends are and what other people are saying. Sorry. Maybe next year I'll catch them all, but I digress. Here we go. I think for now will be The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. That has been kind of been the critical darling. It won the Annie, the special Annie, as well as the BAFTA. And also, the word of mouth on this thing is actually pretty strong. It's kind of reaching people on the outside of the film circuit. It's reaching the general public more so than any of these other nominees, I believe. My Year of Dicks, the title has that going for it, obviously, but I've heard that one is very well received from some reviewers that I've seen talk about that one. I hear it's very short and sweet. It's funny. It's just it's really hitting something within people. So that could very well be an upset. I think just for now, I'm just going to say The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, just because it's won several awards and the word of mouth is pretty strong for it. So we're going to go with that. Moving on from there is documentary short. I've heard the word of mouth for The Elephant Whisperers is very strong. It's giving kind of like My Octopus Teacher vibes from a few years ago. That one, I'm just going to go with that. And we're just gonna move on. Live action short. I had Irish Goodbye, and that did win the BAFTA, although that was the only short film in this category that was nominated at BAFTA. So that ended up winning. I've heard good things about it, but what it doesn't have going for it is the competition with Le Pupille, which is an Alfonso Cuarón produced short film. Cuarón is a Best Director winner, 2-time Best Director winner, I believe, for Gravity and for Roma. He's an Academy darling. If his name is attached to it, then the odds are very well in his favor. Look at Riz Ahmed last year, Oscar nominee. for Best Actor for Sound of Metal, and then he won for what's it called? The Long Goodbye. That's what it was. The Riz Ahmed produced short film won last year in this category, and it did help that he was attached to that. So Les Pupilles, I think, has a good shot. The only one thing that has going against it, however, is that I hear it's kind of long. It's like a 40-minute long short film, which is, I don't think, there hasn't been a lot of short films in this category of that length that have ever won. So it would be kind of like a first if Les Pupilles took this award this year. So, but you know, as much as I want to just stick with An Irish Goodbye, I'm gonna go with my gut and say that the Academy will, number one, see that Cuarón is attached to it, and you know, a familiar figure that they're used to. And I hear, you know, the short film was pretty good. So I'm just going to go with my gut and say Les Pupilles. I don't really have any other reasons, but I'm just going to go with my gut there and say that. But again, Irish Goodbye could very well pull this off. But yeah, I'm going with Les Pupilles. Okay. So documentary. All right. So here's an easy category for once. This race has been kind of all over the place, as you can see. All That Breathes kind of won some early precursors. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, kind of the same thing. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed won the Indie Spirit Award against All That Breathes, and House Made of Splinters as well. But Navalny won the PGA, and it won the BAFTA. And that combination is very, very strong for the documentary category. Historically, Navalny's subject matter is quite timely with the stuff going on in Ukraine and Russia right now. So I think that makes the most sense here. So I'm going to predict Navalny to win this category. Moving on from there is International Feature. Again, another incredibly easy category. There's no way this is not going to All Quiet on the Western Front. It's a Best Picture nomination. It's a Best Picture nominee. There hasn't been a single time in Academy Awards history where an international film was nominated for Best Picture and lost International Feature. It's winning. It's hands down winning. It has 9 nominations. This is just going to be unquestionably happening. It is just that easy. All Quiet, congratulations on your Oscar. So, moving on from there, animated feature, another pretty easy category. Hey, you tell me what's winning. You look at this and you tell me what's winning, girl. Ciao Papa, that's what's winning. Yeah, Pinocchio's got this in the bag. It's over. It's swept the entire season. Not only has it swept everything, Del Toro's name is attached to it. He's an Academy favorite. He's a Best Director winner. He's going to take home this award. Absolutely no question about it. So congratulations, Pinocchio. Moving on from there. Okay, we got a good string of easy categories right now. Okay, so the suffering has not really begun just yet. Once we get above the line, it gets a little scary. Even some of the categories below the line get pretty scary. But for right now, this is going to be, these categories are pretty easy. So visual effects. There is no way this is not going to Avatar: The Way of Water. It won VES, it won BAFTA, it won Critics' Choice. It's winning every visual effects award across the board. Congratulations, James Cameron. You've done it. You didn't get that Best Director nom or any of the other thing, but, you know, congratulations. It's a spectacular looking film. There's no way Avatar is missing here. That's going to be winning. Original song. I still believe that Natu Natu has this in the bag. There are some people out there kind of doubting it just because it's the film's sole nomination. Top Gun Maverick, I guess, would be number 2 or 3. alongside This Is a Life with, Everything Everywhere being the Best Picture frontrunner. I'm not saying it's impossible that either of those two will upset, but given the track record of Naatu Naatu and the love for RRR and its legacy and its narrative this year, we all know it. It's got to be winning. It's got to be winning. I really doubt that it will go anywhere else. So I'm predicting Naatu Naatu here. But I will say that an upset is possible. Very slim chance, but it is possible. It's not a 100% lock. It's more of like a 90 to 95% lock. But most likely it's going to Naatu Naatu, and that will be RRR's big moment, and they deserve everything. Absolutely. So anyway, moving on from there is Best Sound. Okay, now it's starting to get a little bit hairy here. Top Gun walked away with the CAS. All Quiet on the Western Front walked away with the BAFTA. Now, All Quiet was unquestionably over-loved, and it overperformed at BAFTAs. Absolutely. It won here, it won in score, it won in director, like insane. That being said, Top Gun Maverick has a film editing nomination. Sound and editing really are very strong and really go hand in hand, usually, typically, historically. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, is arguably a front runner in editing as well, but that missed here. And honestly, Top Gun sound is probably the strongest in this category. All Quiet sound is very good. The Batman sound is very good. Avatar sound is very good. Elvis's sound is like probably the least impressive, but still kind of stands out. So as far as quality, I think Top Gun's on top. And as far as the track record, I think Top Gun is on top with that CAS win and with the editing nom. I'm going to have to go with Top Gun for my prediction for Best Sound. Best Score. Now, here's where it gets interesting. My man Hurwitz has been losing steam lately because he lost the BAFTA against All Quiet at the bat. He lost against All Quiet. That hurt. We all know what happened at Critics' Choice. Absolutely insane. That's all we got. He won the Golden Globe. He's won a ton of Golden Globes. Hurwitz does not have this in the bag, and what hurts it is, I have my notes here, Babylon has no Best Picture nom. When you even have a very quality score and you're nominated for the Oscar and you aren't in Best Picture, you don't have a Best Picture nom, that severely hurts your chances. It's very, very rare for a film to win Best Score without it having a Best Picture nomination. That really hurts Babylon's chances here. It really does. On top of it losing the BAFTA and the Critics' Choice. It really hurts it. So it really is kind of up in the air right now. Some people are saying All Quiet on the Western Front, which I do see that happening. It has 9 nominations. The score in that film is more unconventional, I guess. Unconventional yet memorable. Sometimes the Academy goes for an unconventional score like Joker. Or like, say, even The Social Network. But they mostly and typically go for more bombastic scores like Babylon. But again, Babylon missing that Best Picture nom and missing some of these other precursors really hurts his chances here. So as much as I want it to win, and as much as it deserves the Oscar, absolutely, one of the best scores of the year, I can't predict it. I can't predict it. If it does win, I will be very happy, and I will also be kind of shocked because it will be a stat-breaking win. That being said, what does win? Well, we already talked about All Quiet. That's a possibility. What's also possible, unlikely, but there's a slim chance of this happening, and I'm going with my gut here. Everything Everywhere. I think it's possible that we live in a world where that will happen. It will be just a lone winner. It hasn't won any other awards that I know of, but the love for Everything Everywhere is so strong. It got this nomination. This category is up in the air. If they don't go for an unconventional score like All Quiet, they're going to go for a more sweeping and melancholic and I guess melodic score that is Everything Everywhere's score. Now, Sunlux is kind of not really a... Oh, I got these two. Bro, I got these two mixed up, dog. What are we doing? It's an outside shot, and it's a little bold and it's a little brave, and I'm just throwing eggs against the wall right now. I'm gonna go out on the limb and just say Everything Everywhere will take this. It's very possible that All Quiet will take it as well. And I really doubt Babylon will win here, and if it does, I'll be ecstatic. But historically, statistically, it's very unlikely. Despite the quality of the score, and it's really unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it works, folks. So that's going to be my crazy. That's one of my craziest predictions right there. Everything Everywhere. We're just going to leave it at that, folks. Just throw it against the wall. Just throw it. Just throw it against the just throw it against the wall, dude. Makeup and hair. This is between Elvis and the Whale. Elvis has won most of the precursors. I know the Whale has won the Special Makeup Award at the Makeup Guild. So it has hair and makeup from the Makeup Guild Award. Special makeup went to the Whale, which I heard doesn't have as much weight as you may think. And of course, say it with me, Elvis is nominated for Best Picture, and The Whale is not. Also, it's vital to take into consideration the Best Actor race between Brendan Fraser and Austin Butler. Very correlative categories. Look at Gary Oldman in Darkest Hour. Oh, Tammy Faye last year with Jessica Chastain. Absolutely. This is something the Academy typically does. That being said, the Best Actor race is literally between those two guys. Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Austin Butler and Elvis. Depending on what wins here, that could very well carry over to whoever wins Best Actor. Elvis has this in the bag. Just because it's one of the most precursors. Some people find The Whale's makeup to be somewhat divisive and controversial. Impressive as it is, I think it's deserving of a win, absolutely. The Elvis does not have that going for it, so that's an advantage there. On top of Austin Butler's surge, I just think it's going to happen. I have to predict Elvis here. And if The Whale does win, with Austin Butler winning Best Actor, that would be very interesting. That I would be very surprised if that happens, and that's very likely that could happen. But I will go with Elvis for now, and we'll leave it at that. Costume design. This one I think is easy. I think this one also goes to Elvis. It's won the Period award at the Costume Guild. That's a very strong category to win there, as well as the BAFTA. That combination of those two awards are very, very strong. Historically, I'm not sure how correlative that is to past winners. I have yet to do my research on all of the past years yet. I'm just 3 months into this, so the stats are not top of mind right now. So it's kind of more of a subconscious kind of prediction here. I will say the Academy typically goes for more period period costumes as opposed to more contemporary and Marvel-esque stuff, I guess you would say, even though Black Panther did win, but that was kind of a sensation with the Academy, so I digress. It's got to be happening, so I'm predicting Elvis for costume design. Moving on from there. His production design, a fairly easy category because Babylon has been sweeping everything. It's been sweeping everything. It got Critics' Choice, it got ADG period, and it got BAFTA. Pretty much an unlosable combo. And also harkening back to the best score discussion there, Babylon has 3 nominations. For it to win 2 out of 3, 2 techs out of 3, is more unlikely than it just winning 1. And it's been sweeping this category. And if it wins any Oscar, it's going to be this one. So that's kind of another reason why that I have a tough time predicting Babylon for score. But here, as you can see, it's just been crushing it. I really don't see it going to anyone. Maybe Elvis can pull an upset, or maybe even All Quiet. I really don't know. I don't really see it happening. But I gotta say Babylon, just because it's just been crushing the game, and if it wins up 1 Oscar, which it damn well should, it's got to be this one. So that's that. Moving on from there, editing. This one's kind of tricky because, as I said, editing and sound are they're like this. So if Top Gun is winning sound, then its chances of winning editing are very high. It won the Ace Eddie Award for drama, but Everything Everywhere won the Ace Eddie for comedy, and it also won the BAFTA. So the Ace Eddie and the BAFTA combo is very, very strong. Weigh that against the best sound and best editing correlation at the Academy. Again, statistically, I don't know how that weighs out, but my heart and my gut is telling me that Everything Everywhere All at Once will take this. Another thing that's going for it is the editing makes that movie. The Academy will love that movie. The Academy has already loved that movie. You can't love that movie but not love the editing because, again, I've said this many times before. The editing in that film makes the film. It would not be as good as it is if the editing wasn't so strong. That being said, with the Ace Eddie in combination with the BAFTA win, I really think Everything Everywhere has this in the bag. But I will say that a Top Gun Maverick upset is not impossible. Could very well happen, but for right now, I will say Everything Everywhere. Moving on from there is Best Cinematography. Another tough category. So, we all know what happened to Claudio Miranda. The early frontrunner got snubbed here, so that is out of the question. All Quiet, won the BAFTA because, like I said, the BAFTAs just absolutely went over the moon for that film. That beat out Bardo. Well, Bardo wasn't even nominated for the BAFTA. It beat out Elvis. It beat out Empire of Light. And it even beat out Top Gun and The Batman, which aren't nominated here. But anyway, it shows that it's very strong. And the cinematography in All Quiet is incredibly strong. It's not quite my favorite in this category. My favorite in this category is probably Tar, honestly. Bardo's cinematography is very good. The nomination is great. It's basically the win for that movie. Very unlikely it'll win. But I will say the curveball here is that Elvis won ASC. Now, ASC is a very strong precursor for cinematography, as well as what's not listed here is the BSC, the British Society of Cinematographers, which I believe Elvis also won. Let me just double check that.
Nope. Nope.
Right, so I stand corrected. I thought Elvis won BSC, but I guess All Quiet won. So All Quiet won BSC and Elvis won ASC. So All Quiet has BSC and BAFTA. So that is very strong, actually, for cinematography. So I might have to predict All Quiet. I was going to predict Elvis, and that could very well be an upset since it won ASC. Cinematography is very strong. It's not as flashy. It's more grounded, I guess you would say. But that BAFTA win really helped All Quiet. It really helped All Quiet, and it beat out Elvis even. So I'm gonna have to say All Quiet, Elvis, possible upset. And if it does upset, I will be actually very happy, because that will mean that Mandy Walker will be the first female cinematographer to win an Oscar in this category, which would be amazing. We're getting above the line, people. We're getting above the line. We're above the line here. Okay, adapted screenplay. So Women Talking won the adapted screenplay award for WGA, and it also won the Critics' Choice Award. That combination is very, very strong. All Quiet on the Western Front, of course, won BAFTA when Women Talking was not nominated. So that is clearly a number 2. All Quiet on the Western Front, is a very well-known novel. Of course, it was also adapted for a Best Picture nominated, or I think it might even won. Did it win? It was the first Best Picture winner, actually. So I guess that the narrative there is kind of brewing for it. So that is a possible upset. I will say it's a possible upset, but I will say that Women Talking probably has this in the bag after its WGA win and its lone Best Picture nomination. I know that All Quiet has 9 nominations as well as Best Picture, so that has that going for it. But I will go with my gut and say that Women Talking might have this in the bag. A little bit up in the air, but I will go with Women Talking for now. Original screenplay. Here we go. I'm just going to get this out of the way. I think it's going to be Everything Everywhere now. I was saying The Banshees of Inisherin had this in the bag. It's more of a kind of a righty kind of film that the Academy typically likes. But, we saw it last year with Coda. I mean, there's this outpouring of love and this surge for Everything Everywhere all at once, especially after SAG happened. The momentum is just so strong for Everything Everywhere, and it's most likely going to be winning Best Picture. Spoiler alert. And that original screenplay has to be a part of that Best Picture winning package, if you will. So, and on top of it winning WGA for original, where Banshees wasn't even nominated, I don't think it was eligible. That is really strong. Although BAFTA did give screenplay to The Banshees of Inisherin, it wasn't enough. So last year, I remember Licorice Pizza won the BAFTA, and that wasn't enough for it to win the Oscar, where Belfast won. Ugh. I don't hate Belfast or anything, but I just give PTA a frickin' Oscar, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, Everything Everywhere, I think, has this. If it were up to me, it would probably go to Banshees, but I will say that Everything Everywhere's original concept is very, very unique. That's got to be winning. It's part of that Best Picture package. Possible upset for Banshees. Doubtful, but Everything Everywhere probably has this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at the acting categories. This is probably pretty easy. This is most likely going to Ke Quan for Everything Everywhere. He's been sweeping pretty much everything. The only place he did not win was BAFTA. Barry Keoghan won the BAFTA in a very surprising shock. So I guess that makes him a number 2, and there's a 1% chance that he could pull off a surprise win here. That would be insane. But this has got to be going to Ke Quan. I mean, the guy has been killing it in every category that he's been nominated in across every other precursor. He won the SAG, everything. He's like one of the main faces of that film. He's given the greatest speeches of the year, basically, between him and Fraser. The love for him is just so there's an outpouring of love for this man and his resurgence and his comeback narrative. Comeback narratives don't always work for the Academy, and we will get to that soon. But Ke Huy Quan has just been crushing it this season, and I really doubt it's going to go anywhere else. So I got to be predicting Ke Huy Quan with a 1% chance that Barry could upset. But I think that's about it. Now let's talk about Judd Hirsch, though. I've heard some people say that Judd Hirsch could come back and win, which I highly doubt. He's been nominated once before. He's a much older actor. You know, he's kind of nearing the end of his life. I mean, he's in his late 80s. So for him to get an Academy Award would be great. You know, that it's kind of like an Ennio Morricone kind of narrative, even though Ennio was nominated for several Oscars until he won for Hateful Eight. But where was I going with this? Judd Hirsch. Yeah, I just don't know if that's going to happen. That would be insane. But there's a 0.03 chance that could happen. But again, Ke Huy Quan most likely has this in the bag. So congratulations, Ke, on your Oscar. Here's where it gets a little tricky, ladies and gentlemen. We have a few more really hard categories to go to. Supporting actress, dude. What's happening, bro? What's happening? Look at this. Look at this. Look. Will you look? What's gonna happen, dude? Angela Bassett. So, here we go. Before Golden Globe, mid-season, I'm talking like late last year, Carrie Condon crushing the critics groups, getting all these freaking critics groups wins. I think she had the most critics groups wins, period. So she was kind of the front runner, the early front runner. And then Angela Bassett came along, and people were like, "Oh, she's, you know, this grand figure in Hollywood that really hasn't gotten her Academy due." You know, she was nominated for What's Love Got to Do with It and lost all those years back. And she's just a very prolific actress, a very gifted actress. Has this really powerful short performance in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever that kind of pays tribute in a way to Chadwick Boseman and his character in the film, and as well as the late actor as well. And of course, Chadwick was nominated for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He ended up losing, but still that has that narrative going for him. So this narrative behind Angela Bassett kind of started brewing. She won Golden Globe. She won Critics' Choice. And then BAFTAs came along, who that loved Banshees. Gave the BAFTA to Carrie Condon. And then SAG came along, and people were like, "Oh, okay, so this is Angela. It's back on. Let's get back on the Angela Bassett train." Boom. Jamie Lee Curtis wins. Unfathomable, dude. Unbelievable. And I did say that Jamie Lee Curtis could have been 4 or 5 on Gold Derby, and I was completely wrong. She was apparently number 3 on Gold Derby all year, and I didn't know it, so that's completely my bad. But again, nobody was predicting her to win. Nobody. She may have been number 3 on Gold Derby. Nobody was predicting her to win. Nobody that I follow, that I know. Like, it was insane. So that threw a wrench in Angela Bassett's chances. So now that we have the Oscars coming up, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is not a Best Picture nominee. Banshees is. Angela Bassett, yes, while a very long-standing figure in Hollywood, very recognizable figure in Hollywood, former nominee, she's in a Marvel movie. No actor has ever won for a Marvel performance, much less a 8 to 10 minute performance. So while it's not impossible, it is now very unlikely that she will win after what happened at SAG, and for all those reasons that I just mentioned. So my gut, my heart is telling me that Carrie Condon can pull this off and win this award. I'm pretty sure there's instances in the past where other actresses have won with this pathway. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Angela Bassett can still pull through. Maybe Jamie Lee Curtis can win with the frickin' SAG win. That's not impossible either. Like, if she wins it's dude, the way this season is going, who knows? Maybe she'll win the Oscar, dude. Maybe Jamie Lee will win a freaking Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which would be insane. But this whole season has been insane. Like, absolute chaos, absolute insanity. I'm all here for it. It's just making my job hard, man. So look, man, I'm just gonna go with my gut and just say Carrie Condon. This could go anywhere. Now, I will say that Hong Chau's chances are very low. Stephanie Hsu's chances are better, but still not great. She hasn't really won anything. She did win the Indie Spirit Award for supporting performance, or a breakthrough performance rather. So she has that going for it, but as far as a wait for an Oscar win, it's very unlikely. We're just going to say Carrie Condon and move on from there before I overthink this. So before we get to actress, let's talk about actor first. Best actor, man. Best actor. Butler, Fraser. That's it. It used to be Butler, Fraser, Farrell. Farrell's out since he lost BAFTA to Austin Butler. It's between Brendan Fraser and Austin Butler. Let me circle it back. Let me circle it back for y'all. Austin Butler not winning any critics groups, really, at all in the early and mid season. Then he wins the Globe for Drama over Fraser. Okay. Then Critics' Choice comes along. Be like, okay, so this is probably going to Farrell because he's been the critical darling. Goes to Fraser. Okay. And then the BAFTA comes along. It's like, okay, so if Colin Farrell's going to win anything, it's got to be here. Goes to Butler. So Colin Farrell is out. Now Butler and Fraser are still head to head. And then at SAG, it was just Farrell Fraser or Butler Fraser. Butler Fraser who's going to win at SAG. If Butler had won SAG, then it would be over. I think Butler would have walked away with the Oscar easily. Fraser wins SAG. I mean, what do you want us to do, man? So it's hard. This is really, really hard. This is really, really hard. There's a lot of love for Brendan Fraser. There's tons of love for Brendan Fraser. But it's not the Whale is not nominated for Best Picture. Sure, it has that makeup nomination, as does Elvis, but it's just not as well loved as Elvis, according to the Academy and according to, I think, a lot of other people. That is kind of working against Fraser's chances. And again, the comeback narratives, like Fraser's comeback narrative. Look at Mickey Rourke. Look at Mickey Rourke for The Wrestler. Lost to Sean Penn. Look at Michael Keaton for Birdman. Lost to Eddie Redmayne, newcomer. Comeback narratives don't always work. And Fraser, I think, might have that curse and might lose the Oscar to the newcomer, Austin Butler, who is portraying Elvis Presley, a legendary figure in music, in a music biopic a completely transformative and showy and flashy performance that the Academy just yearns for. I mean, if they gave it to frickin' what's his face, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, then there's no way they wouldn't go for a performance like Austin Butler and Elvis. And with that Best Picture edge, it's tough. I'm going to have. I'm sorry, Fraser. I'm going to have to go to Austin Butler for the Oscar. I am predicting Austin Butler, but I am still rooting for you, Fraser. I'm rooting for you. I like your performance more than any of these nominees, than mostly anyone. You're, spoiler alert for my favorite performances of 2022. You're my number 2, baby. Cate Blanchett is the only performance I like more than yours. Sorry, bud. But I'm rooting for you all the way, bud. But I'm sorry. The numbers and the stats veer me towards saying that Austin Butler will take this. Now, if Fraser wins, I will be a happy boy. I will be a very happy boy. But I will be pretty surprised because it will be a stat-breaking win. Much deserved. Break those stats, dude. Fraser needs this, man. He needs this. After a performance like that, come on. So, that being said, I apologize, Fraser. Butler has the stars are aligning for him. It's kind of a surge for him, even though you did just win SAG. And that could be enough for you to surge last minute. But again, there's some of these other reasons that I just can't weigh. I'm weighing it against it a little bit. I got to go with Austin Butler for my prediction. So before I sound like a broken record, too late. I already am. Let's move on to Best Actors. So this is between Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh, as it kind of always has been, since pretty much the mid-season. They have been literally neck and neck, like pretty much all season long. They both won their respective Globe categories. Cate Blanchett took home Critics' Choice, even though Critics' Choice was swept by Everything Everywhere. So that was like, And then the BAFTAs came along. Again, Cate Blanchett won that. Not really a surprise, If she was going to win anywhere, it was going to be there. She wins BAFTA. Then Michelle Yeoh wins SAG, along with this explosion of love for Everything Everywhere at SAG. Michelle Yeoh won, the ensemble won, Jamie Lee Curtis wins, Ke Huy Quan wins. They won 4 awards at the SAG. Record-breaking. Absolutely record-breaking. No film has ever done that at the SAGs. The love for this movie is just so freaking strong. The love for Michelle Yeoh is very, very, very strong. Her narrative is great. It's not even really a comeback narrative. It's just a career narrative. Like, she hasn't gotten the proper Oscar. This is her first nomination. She's been getting a lot of recognition throughout the years, but this is finally something that will make her truly a household name. I think she's already a household name at this point. And she will make history as the first Asian actress to win in this category. That will be a huge win for the Academy and for her. But I will say that Cate Blanchett is also very strong. Tar is nominated in Best Picture as well. She's Cate Blanchett. She has 2 Oscars under her belt already, and this is her 8th nomination. She could very well still win here. It's very possible that she will still pull it off because of those reasons that I just mentioned. And she has all of these awards bodies working for her. But that being said, I do believe in the Everything Everywhere surge and the Everything Everywhere momentum and the hype train regarding Michelle Yeoh and the film in general. So with that said, I'm predicting Michelle Yeoh for the Oscar. my personal pick, again, the performance that worked more for me was Kate's performance in Tar, and that was my February prediction. But I got to pivot. And I just got to say Michelle Yeoh. I was doubting it for a while, but now that the stars are aligning here, the stats are making sense to me. I think it could very well happen. It could go either way. It could really go either way between these two women. But for my money, my heart is telling me Yeoh. Anyway, moving on from there. All right, so last two categories are pretty easy. So I'm gonna go and yeah, gonna go ahead and do that. So the Daniels are most likely definitely going to win. They won DGA, and they also won PGA. They did lose BAFTA to Berger, but we know that all quiet BAFTA, and they've just been killing it all season long as directors. It's the Best Picture frontrunner. It's going to be a part of the Best Picture winning package. It's got to go to the Daniels. If anybody upsets, honestly, I don't think anyone would upset. Honestly, if anybody no, it can't. There's no way they're not winning. There's no way they're not winning. If they lose this, I'll probably eat my sock. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably saute it and put some Himalayan pink salt on it, cut it up, and just eat a sock. Anyway, bad joke. The Daniels have to win this. They have to win this. There's no way they're not winning this. Berger isn't even nominated here. Spielberg, I guess, is in second place. But for the Fabelmans to just win director, he's not a Jane Campion this year. I'm sorry. Jane Campion absolutely swept all of the director awards last year in every precursor, basically, even though director was the only Oscar it eventually took home of its 12 nominations. Fabelmans does not have 12 nominations, and it hasn't been sweeping director. It won Globe, but that's about it, pretty much. I think NBR, he got NBR, I think, and then maybe something else, but he did Globe. But that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Daniels have this in the bag. End of story. Moving on. And let's just make this quick. Everything Everywhere won PGA, DGA, SAG Ensemble, Critics' Choice. That is an unbeatable package. There is no way it is losing Best Picture. There's no way it's losing Best Picture. Now that it has swept the guilds, even got Ace Eddie. It has completely swept the guilds. That is unbeatable. It is an unbeatable package. It is winning Best Picture. Congratulations, Everything Everywhere All at Once. You got this. You got this. Congratulations, everyone. So that's that. That is that. And we're ending on an easy note. A couple easy notes here after a very tough. This is a tough season, man. This is a tough season. Again, I can't believe I started doing this year. I don't know how well I'm going to do, but I really don't care how well I'm going to do because I've just been having so much fun this season, and I just cannot wait until Sunday. Cannot wait for the Oscars. It's going to be a hell of a time. It's been a hell of a race in all of these categories, and everyone's a winner at this point. It's just incredible. It's been an incredible season. But we'll save that talk for when the Oscars happen, and after the Oscars happen, we'll have a little toast. I will be live streaming my reactions to the Oscar ceremony. I will not be streaming the ceremony itself because that is illegal. But I will be streaming my reactions, watching the Oscars on my TV. Some people do it. I'm going to do it on Sunday. I'm going to have a great time. You can see me there when the Oscars happen. You can catch me there. And I will see you then. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good one. Leave a like. Leave a comment. Give me a subscribe if you haven't already. And love you lots. I will see you guys on Sunday. Oscar Guy is out.